My name's Christopher Ambriz. I'm a filmmaker slash news photographer here in Corpus Christi, Texas. I probably draw my biggest influences from filmmakers like George Romero, Sam Raimi, Robert Rodriguez, guys that kind of started it in the kind of do-it-yourself mold. They kind of came from their hometowns and built their films from the ground up, and I kind of tried to emulate the same thing. Something I really had to work at. I think, as you get older, you kind of view things in a much more sophisticated way as you would as a kid, and every story kind of evolves as you kind of develop it. So I think that really kind of influences the whole way of filmmaking for any kind of filmmaker. And then of course you know more about moving the camera and technique and writing and trying to make everything more concise and more perfect. I think I probably started really taking it seriously when I was had an interest in it when I was 13, took it more seriously when I was in my 20s. Yeah, I try to now more than I used to. I kind of would get into streaks where I'd like produce 1 or 2 movies and then kind of stopped and kind of developed my craft a little bit in the news side, and then once I guess I kind of felt more comfortable with the technical aspects of it, then I really started to pursue it. No, mainly here. Usually it's a lot of anxiety and a lot of quick thinking, and usually I feel really tired because I usually don't sleep enough when I'm making a film, and it's just part of the course. You have a lot on your mind and you're trying to create something and be very concise, and you have a lot brewing in your head. It's a side job. It's a passion, a hobby, if you will, too. Haven't exactly made any money doing it, but I haven't, building a career, going to festivals, winning awards and stuff like that. So. Between 2 jobs, I'm always in the media. So either I'm making films or I'm shooting news, which is kind of the same thing, except the story unfolds in front of you instead of making it up. Mainly the kind of films, the genre that I've stuck with is like horror films. I've done kind of like buddy comedies and kind of like film noir, or neo-noir, I guess you could say, but mainly horror films. Altogether 8 films since 2000. The first film we produced was Dark Blood, and that was in 2000. The second film that we produced was Faceless, and that was in 2001. And we had that premiere at the Edgeworks Film Festival. And then we took a break, and we did a movie called One Dark Night that just recently premiered. And while we were doing that, we did a 7-day film called In the Shadows. That was the film noir. And then in 2010, we did a little short horror film called Pen. And then in 2011, we did a film called El Cucuy. And then this year, we did 2 more films. We did The Last Weekend, and we did Ellen Krista's Night Out. So those would be the films that we've produced since 2000. My motivation to producing films is basically to entertain people, number one, and myself, but mainly to tell a good story, to do it in a compelling manner, and to get it out there, get it out to the masses. Usually the creative process is like something that we either see or something that really inspires us to write a story, and then from the story develop a screenplay, and then from the screenplay we'll start figuring out who we're going to cast and who's involved into the project, and then from there we'll kind of try to gather what little money that we do make the film for, and what time that we're going to have, which is usually not a lot of time, and then go out and try to successfully complete the entire shooting of the film. When you're making, like, say, for example, a horror film, you gotta kind of, I'm a big horror fan too, so I kind of look at it from the perspective of the fan in a lot of ways. When I make a movie, it's like, man, what do I really like to see in film? And then try to do it the way I like to see it on film, and make it entertaining and cohesive and tell a good story in the process. So there's a story that goes with everything that goes along in, say, a horror film or an action film or a comedy. You know, there has to be something that connects the laughs or the scares or the action set pieces together with the story. Mainly as a storyteller. And my influence, I guess, in the community is probably either as a photographer or as a filmmaker is to inform or entertain, or both in some cases. So. Yes, we had got an official selection to do the Self-Medicated Film Expo in South by Southwest, and then we got official selection to the San Antonio Horrific Horror Film Festival, and then we got official selection for South Texas Underground Film Festival, and we're still in the process of being in the selection. And the awards that we've gotten from those film festivals, we won the Achievement in Local Filmmaking, the Pepe Center Award, which was really nice for our film El Cucuy, which we took kind of the legend, kind of built around it a little bit and made that into like a little short film. And then we won for the 48-hour film competition. We won first runner-up for the last weekend. It was another film that was kind of a mixture of a suspense thriller and zombie film. So we just tried to blend genres and see how it would come out in 2 days.
Sounds really nice. So it was nice interviewing you. Thank you.
Thank you.